Samuel Clarke, 1675 to 1729, was an English philosopher, theologian, and mathematician who had a profound impact on the intellectual landscape of his time. His works, particularly in the realm of philosophy and theology, touched on topics like natural law, ethics, and the existence of God. Though Samuel Clarke was known for his contributions to metaphysics and the philosophy of religion, his life also offers valuable lessons for anyone seeking to navigate the complexities of intellectual and moral development. Here's a comprehensive exploration of some key life lessons we can learn from Samuel Clarke's philosophy and personal journey. 1. The importance of intellectual integrity. Samuel Clarke's dedication to truth, particularly in matters of theology and philosophy, is a central aspect of his intellectual legacy. He was known for his vigorous defense of the rationality of the existence of God, as well as his arguments against deism and materialism. His commitment to defending natural theology, using reason and philosophy to demonstrate the existence of a divine being, was rooted in intellectual honesty and integrity. Clarke's insistence on truth over convenience or popularity speaks to the importance of intellectual integrity. In an age where skepticism about religion and morality was on the rise, Clarke remained steadfast in his belief in a rational, ordered universe created by a benevolent God. His refusal to compromise on his views, even in the face of significant opposition, teaches us the value of standing by one's beliefs, especially when they are grounded in reason and evidence. 2. Engage with the greatest minds of your time. One of Clarke's key achievements was his ability to engage with the intellectual giants of his era, including figures like Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Though Clarke's relationship with Leibniz was marked by intellectual tension, it was also one of mutual respect, which allowed Clarke to sharpen his own thinking. Engaging with the greatest minds of your time can challenge your own ideas, help you grow, and refine your understanding of complex concepts. Clarke's correspondence with these great thinkers demonstrates the value of intellectual exchange. Even when disagreements arose, he saw the value in debating and discussing differing ideas, understanding that such engagements could lead to intellectual growth. For anyone looking to enhance their intellectual development, the lesson is clear: don't shy away from engaging with others who have different ideas and experiences. Doing so can lead to deeper insights and personal growth. 3. Balance faith with reason. Clarke was a devout Christian, but he also strongly believed in the power of human reason. His famous work, A Demonstration of the Being and Attributes of God, sought to demonstrate the existence of God using reason alone, without relying on scripture or faith alone. This philosophical approach exemplified Clarke's belief in the compatibility of faith and reason, showing that they could complement each other rather than be in conflict. In our modern age, where discussions around faith and reason often seem polarized, Clarke's approach teaches us the importance of balancing the two. Faith does not require blind acceptance, nor does reason require the exclusion of the divine. Clarke's life encourages us to use reason to better understand the world around us, while also recognizing that there are aspects of existence that may transcend human understanding. 4. The role of moral philosophy in society. Clarke believed that moral philosophy, which examines what is right and wrong, is vital to the moral fabric of society. His work on natural law, particularly his understanding of the moral law as being inherent in nature, underscores the importance of ethics in shaping a just society. He argued that there is an objective moral order that exists independently of human will and that it is our duty to recognize and adhere to it. This commitment to moral order provides a valuable lesson for us today. Ethical behavior is not merely a matter of personal choice but is connected to a larger moral order. Clarke's view that morality stems from God's rational nature suggests that moral actions are not arbitrary but grounded in the fabric of reality itself. In a world that often seems to blur moral lines, Clarke's life serves as a reminder that an objective moral order exists, and we must strive to align our lives with it. 5. The value of scientific inquiry. Although Clarke is most famous for his theological and philosophical work, he was also deeply engaged with scientific thought. He was a contemporary of Isaac Newton and frequently wrote about the compatibility of science and religion. In particular, Clarke supported Newton's understanding of the universe as being governed by rational, natural laws, which could be studied through scientific inquiry. He viewed science not as a challenge to faith but as a means of understanding the magnificent order of the universe created by God. Clarke's attitude towards science teaches us that intellectual curiosity and religious faith can go hand in hand. He showed that we should never fear the expansion of human knowledge, but instead, we should embrace scientific discovery as a way to deepen our appreciation for the intricacy and beauty of the world. By maintaining a sense of wonder at the natural world, we can more deeply engage with both the material and spiritual dimensions of our existence. 6. The pursuit of virtue. Throughout his work, Clarke placed great emphasis on virtue, which he defined as a commitment to live in accordance with reason and moral law. He believed that virtue was essential for both personal happiness and social well-being. In his work, he distinguished between different kinds of virtue, including intellectual, moral, and religious virtues, and argued that all are necessary for leading a well-rounded, fulfilling life. For Clarke, virtue was not an abstract ideal but a practical reality that should shape every aspect of life. He argued that through the cultivation of virtue, one could not only achieve moral excellence but also align oneself with the divine will. This message is particularly relevant in today's world, where success is often measured in material terms, rather than in terms of personal integrity and virtue. Clarke's life teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come not from external achievements, but from internal growth and moral development. 7. Seek knowledge for its own sake. Clarke's intellectual pursuits were not motivated by personal gain or fame but by a genuine desire to understand the world and the divine. He saw the search for knowledge as a noble endeavor, one that could lead to both personal enlightenment and societal betterment. His works reflect a deep commitment to intellectual exploration for its own sake, rather than for any immediate, practical benefit. This emphasis on the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake encourages us to approach learning not as a means to an end, but as an end in itself. In a world where information is often consumed for its practical utility, Clarke's life reminds us that the quest for truth and understanding is a lifelong pursuit that enriches the human experience. When we seek knowledge with a pure heart and open mind, we open ourselves up to the possibility of growth, insight, and deeper wisdom. 8. Be willing to challenge the status quo. Though Clarke was deeply religious, he was not afraid to challenge certain aspects of traditional religious thought, particularly those that he saw as inconsistent with reason. He was a proponent of rational religion and often found himself at odds with other religious thinkers of his time. His work on natural theology sought to make the case for the rationality of belief in God, positioning him against both the materialist philosophers and the skeptics of his era. Clarke's willingness to challenge prevailing ideas teaches us the importance of questioning assumptions and not accepting things simply because they are traditional or widely accepted. In any field of study, there is always room for improvement and refinement, and intellectual progress often comes from those willing to question the status quo. Clarke's life encourages us to think critically and to be bold enough to defend our convictions, even if they run counter to popular opinions or norms. 9. The interconnection between the intellectual and the spiritual. Clarke's work was deeply concerned with reconciling the intellectual and the spiritual. He believed that a true understanding of the world could not be separated from an understanding of its divine origin. For Clarke, intellectual pursuits, and spiritual growth were not distinct but were deeply intertwined. Clarke's life teaches us the importance of integrating our intellectual and spiritual lives. In a world where these two realms are often seen as separate, Clarke's philosophy demonstrates that the pursuit of knowledge can and should go hand in hand with spiritual development. Intellectual rigor, when coupled with a deep sense of spiritual responsibility, can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. 10. Stay true to your principles, even in adversity. Throughout his life, Samuel Clarke faced numerous challenges, including controversies surrounding his views on religion and philosophy. He engaged in heated debates with figures such as Anthony Collins and John Locke. Despite facing criticism and opposition, Clarke remained firm in his beliefs, relying on his intellectual and moral principles to guide him. This resilience in the face of adversity offers a powerful life lesson. When we encounter challenges in our own lives, whether they be intellectual, personal, or professional, it's essential to stay true to our principles. Clarke's life shows us that true strength comes not from avoiding criticism or difficulty but from facing challenges head-on and standing firm in our convictions. Conclusion. Samuel Clarke's life and philosophy provide us with numerous lessons that are both timeless and relevant to our contemporary lives. Through his intellectual integrity, engagement with the greatest minds of his time, balance of faith and reason, and commitment to virtue, Clarke offers a model for how to approach life with rigor, humility, and a deep respect for the search for truth. The lessons from his life encourage us to prioritize intellectual curiosity, moral integrity, and spiritual growth, all while being willing to challenge the status quo and defend our principles, even in the face of adversity. In doing so, we can aspire to lead lives of greater purpose, understanding, and fulfillment, just as Samuel Clarke did in his own.